Hello, and thank you for joining Team 21 PopUp Video's 2023 Datathon presentation on unmasking maternal mortality. I'm Kelsey Faribaugh, and I'm joined here today by Lauren Downey. Our other teammates are Sam Wendler and Brennan Dye. To begin unmasking maternal mortality, we sought to better understand what maternal mortality rate, or MMR, looks like in the United States relative to the rest of the world. Based on 2020 data, the US ranks third highest in MMR, falling behind Mexico and Costa Rica. From 2018 to 2020, we've seen MMR increase in the US. This increase is especially troubling when you consider that Black women in the US have 2.8 times the rate of maternal mortality of white women. Now that we've contextualized the fact that MMR is a pressing issue in the United States overall, we took a deep dive at MMR at a state level. Virginia ranks 13th highest in the country on MMR out of 37 reporting states based on CDC data from 2018 to 2021. The CDC reports state-level data in multi-year increments, and recent data was bucketed into two overlapping segments, 2018 to 2020 and 2018 to 2021. When comparing those two data sets, we find that MMR has increased by 30% in Virginia, indicating that MMR in 2021 increased at quite a dramatic clip. With our positioning as the 13th highest in the country and MMR on the rise, we must make a commitment to the 8.6 million citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia to do better. Before we deep dive into our analysis and statistical modeling, we want to present well-established drivers of MMR as a fact to be built upon later. The WHO and CDC recognize social determinants, chronic health conditions, and healthcare access as contributing factors to MMR. We wanted to build upon those known factors to present an additional key determinant of MMR, abortion. And right now, Virginia's maternal mortality outlook is bleak as Governor Youngkin's agenda threatens lives. Our analysis will prove that access to abortion has a strong correlation with maternal outcomes. Visually represented here on the left, you'll see state mortality rates plotted against a categorization of their policy positioning regarding abortion access. States that have a hostile political stance, as defined by the criteria on the right, have the highest MMR. Compare this against states on the very supportive side of the axis with the lowest MMR. Virginia currently sits in the middle of the pack with the leans hostile rating, as highlighted in blue. If we move towards greater policy hostility surrounding abortion, we will argue that MMR will increase. And I'll turn it over to Lauren to prove this out.
Thanks, Kelsey. So what we did is we modeled the impact of abortion restrictions and protections on maternal mortality in the United States. We considered a lot of state-level variables that are all well known to be correlated with maternal mortality. When we take a look at all of these variables together, we built a really strong predictive model that models maternal mortality based on the following most significant variables: abortion policy rating, the percent of the population that is Black, the percent of women who are uninsured, and the percent of adults with Medicaid coverage. With our best model, we found that for each one-step increase in abortion restrictiveness, maternal mortality rate increases by 2.5. And this finding is well supported by other studies from different researchers who have reached the same conclusion about the relationship between abortion policy and maternal mortality in the US. What this means for Virginia is that if Virginia backslides from leans hostile to more significant restrictions, our model predicts that maternal mortality will increase. Changing abortion policies to very hostile levels could raise maternal mortality rate by 17%. Now, I will note that this relationship represents a correlation, and it's too soon to evaluate causality based on legislation that was passed in other states in 2022. However, based on our findings, I believe that it's going to be informative and disheartening to see the impact of those more restrictive policies on maternal mortality in those states. On the other hand, we predict that strengthening abortion access could save lives. Changing abortion policies to supportive levels could reduce maternal mortality rate by 25%. And increasing abortion access has additional positive outcomes. It's been proven to reduce domestic violence, increase labor force participation, especially for Black women, expand educational achievement, and bolster lifetime earnings for women. So we conclude that any strategy to reduce maternal mortality must include protective measures for safe and accessible abortion. Our recommendations are that at a minimum, we need to prevent any additional abortion restrictions. Next, even better, we could also address the drivers of maternal mortality that we mentioned that are well known and proven by the WHO and CDC. And then our best recommendation is to also ease abortion restrictions in the Commonwealth. Now, we have all dedicated a week to developing solutions to reduce maternal mortality in the Commonwealth. Now I'll ask you to do one more thing. Please contact your legislators and tell them to protect the health of pregnant people by supporting abortion access in Virginia. Thank you.